Gary is photobombing me. In today's installment of exploring the Yorkshire Dales and surrounding areas, we are going to see another waterfall, a really special one, with a really special tea room that people have been telling me for years I need to go to and have their scones and clotted cream. And since my friend Deb right here is a big fan of scones and clotted cream, I have to take her there. We're also going to go to some cliffs that are known for seabirds, because this guy here is a big fan of seabirds. But today's a special day. It is the 4th of July, and that means that not only is it Independence Day for us Americans, but this year it's also election day for the British people. So it's going to be an interesting day all around. I just want to point out one thing, and that is that even though the 4th of July, July 4th, is the day that Americans celebrate their independence from England, it is the only day that we say the date in the non-American format. So every other day of the year, Christmas, December 25th, Valentine's Day, February 14th. But then when it comes to Independence Day, we say the 4th of July in that European or British format. So I think that's kind of hilarious. Happy 4th of July, and we're off for some more Yorkshire adventures. We're here at the Falling Foss Tea Room parking lot, and we're meeting up with my friends Nick and Jill from Generation Explorers. It should be easy to find Nick because he's always dressed in black shorts, a black t-shirt, and a black bucket hat. And here he is. Okay.
Happy Independence Day, y'all.
Happy Independence Day, y'all. All right, turn around. You got to do the catwalk spin. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is ridiculous. But
it really is.
And Jill is not quite as outrageously dressed, but she is red, white, and blue, even down to rocking some red boots. Nice. We're attracting quite a lot of attention because Nick and Jill are dressed up in their patriotic American gear. I'm wearing my patriotic British t-shirt, and yeah, it's been fun. Years ago when I started my channel and I talked about going to Yorkshire, someone told me you have to go to Falling Foss Tea Room. If you love scones and cream and jam, they have the best scones there. So here I am. Now let's try it out. The scones do look delicious. The fruit slab, however, does not. But there were some other cakes and brownies that looked scrumptious. And there was even a gluten-free brownie option for Gary that looked very tasty as well. Also, there are savory food options if you want to have breakfast or lunch. But I was there for a cream tea, so that is what I ordered. Here we are at our picnic table, eating our cream tea. I just have to note that they never give enough clotted cream with a cream tea, but look at this. I have masses of clotted cream on my scones and still this much left over. That's so exciting. And no, it's not real tea as usual. Today we have lemon and ginger. Well, that scone was delicious, and Debbie was very happy to finally get a scone with proper clotted cream. She came with us to England in 2018 and was first introduced to cream tea and afternoon tea and fell in love with it. But, you know, we just can't get the good stuff back in Texas. So it's been great to be here. Everyone has brought their dogs today to Falling Foss. What kind of dog is this one?
He's a wide-haired dachshund.
Oh.
He's not mine, he's my neighbour's, but everyone asks about him.
Because such an unusual look to him.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
No, come on.
Your other dogs are beautiful too. Okay,
you.
sorry to disturb.
Oh.
I'll leave you be. I'll leave you be. You have a handful today, don't you? Oh my goodness, the sun is coming out. So we're excited to do a little wander around and check out Falling Foss now. The foss is beautiful. We stood for a while and enjoyed gazing at it. And of course, we had to take a few photos posing with the falls as well. Now that we've seen the foss, and we've seen the tree stump full of coins crammed into it, we are now going to see the Hermitage, following Nick and his patriotic accessories. My mic accidentally got left in the car, so I'll have to come in this cave in order to film without wind noise. This Hermitage was built in 1790. On top of it are two chairs that allegedly you sit in one and make a wish, and then you sit in the other and your wish will come true. So I definitely want to check that out. They're up there making wishes and sitting in chairs. It is absolutely blowing a gale. It is so windy, but otherwise a pretty day. We are driving through Scarborough on the way to Flamborough, but I'm just noting all of these. What are those? What would you call those up there? Townhomes? What are those?
They're a mixture of apartment blocks and hotels.
Apartment blocks and hotels. Okay, we're trying not to hit this pedestrian. Well done, Jill. Yes, just kind of the pastel colors of the townhomes, as we would call them in the U.S. It's a common theme, and the bay windows. So wherever you are in Britain and you're on the seaside, it seems like some similar architectural things are seen. Yeah. And over here, really quick before it goes away, there's the Scarborough Castle. That's right. Okay. My first time in Scarborough, and I'm in the car with Nick from Generation Explorers and Jilly, the driver. Yes, I volunteered to come in their car with them.
Hey, brave.
So she goes missing. We've kidnapped her.
This is video record of the fact that I was last seen by Nick and Jill. They are the prime suspects. They are the prime suspects in my disappearance. All right, all kinds of seabirds on the cliffs over there. And Nick claims to have seen dolphins out in the sea. I don't know how. You must have very good vision. This looks like a touristy place. Casino Royale. Named after the James Bond movie. Oh, fresh seafood. Speedboat rides. Lots of fun to be had in Scarborough. Oh, all kinds of arcades, bright lights, big city. And fudge. Delicious fudge at the seaside. If you have watched my channel, you know I will not be eating that fudge at the seaside. We're just passing through on our way to Flamborough, so if you want to know how to have fun in Scarborough on a budget, you're gonna have to go to Generation Explorers channel. They have some videos on that. I'll link in the description. We just got to Flamborough North, and we are hoping to see some puffins and other seabirds. It is pretty cold and very windy, especially cold for the 4th of July. And it just started raining now that we've gotten out of our cars and started walking to the coast. Flamborough Cliffs are part of what's called Yorkshire's Seabird City. These chalk grasslands sit atop steep coastal cliffs, which are a temporary home to tens of thousands of seabirds each spring and summer, who come here to lay eggs and raise their chicks before flying away. You might see puffins, guillemots, razorbills, gannets, shags, herring gulls, fulmars, and kittiwakes nesting on the cliffs. Out in the sea, you can also spot whales or other sea mammals. Sadly, no otters were mentioned on the wildlife charts. Only weasels. In addition to the video footage I filmed, Jill was nice enough to share with me the still photos she took with her superior telephoto lens. So I will add those to this video so you can get a better close-up view of the lovely bird species we observed on the cliffs. It's absolutely chucking it down now. We're all getting soaked, but Gary is having a fantastic time spotting birds, getting some life listers, his first time seeing a puffin. The sun came out, and so I asked Ian to do some filming down at the end because I don't want to walk down there. The clouds are parting. It's still windy as heck, but the clouds are parting and it's getting a bit sunnier. We're now in another part of Flamborough. I believe this is called Flamborough Head, and it's near the lighthouse. And our goal here is to see some seals. And I'm filming a little intro to this part in the car because it is blowing a gale out there. So we'll see if my microphone works in that wind. I think it's funny that the info sign here says that the outer headland is a place to blow away the cobwebs, when it's just insanely windy and blustery here today. We are managing to see a few seals. They're just bobbing around in the sea and we see their little heads pop up. They're pretty cute. Not as cute as otters, but otter cousins. Put your noses up. Oh, there we go. Now we see one. So when the tide is out, they're sunning themselves on the shore, but right now the tide's in far, so they're bobbing around in the sea. Oh, and then there's out in the sea, farther away from the coast, there's loads of them, little heads bopping up here and there. Now we've arrived at Bempton Cliffs, which is an RSPB, or Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, location. The first thing you enter is the wildlife garden, which has many enclosures with bird feeders where you can observe various bird species, including many very commonly seen birds like blackbirds and house sparrows and wood pigeons, as well as some less often seen birds, like jackdaws, which we don't have in the US, so Gary only sees them when he comes to England. Seeing this makes me think that puffins are lots of people's favorite bird. The cliffs here at Bempton feel very different than the cliffs that we were just at earlier. The path is very established and somewhat paved. There's really thick foliage, and you can't really see all the cliff faces quite yet. But we're not to the good part. These Bempton Cliffs are part of the largest mainland seabird city, with more than 250,000 birds flying about and finding a spot to lay eggs and nurture their chicks. Many of these same types of birds were noted on the wildlife signs at both Flamborough and Bempton, although this area here is particularly full of gannets.
Oh, there's puffins. There's a puffin. Oh, yeah, sorry.
We're seeing lots of gannets and some, what was the other thing you said you just saw? Oh yes, and guillemots and a couple puffins here at Bempton. Well, apparently we should be amazed by fulmars, even though they aren't as cute as the little sea clown puffins. They have some really cool superpowers, like they can smell their dinner from 15 miles away. We are going to Bridlington for fish and chips tonight, which is definitely much less than 15 miles away, but I can't smell my dinner yet. It's really fun watching the gannets fly by. They're beautiful. They are magnificent large white birds with pale yellow heads and black wingtips. They dive into the sea to capture fish, sometimes plunging as fast as 60 miles per hour. I captured video of the gannets covering these cliffs and peaks, but I love this snapshot of Jill's showing the rocky tower covered in gannets. Thank you to Nick and Jill for a fabulous day of being our tour guides. And it was just really nice to finally meet you in person. We started out the day in Whitby, which is known for amazing fish and chips. And we've spent most of the day in these coastal locations, which is really where one should be eating fish and chips. So we can't leave the coast without having fish and chips for our tea. Nick claims that the best fish and chips he's had in his life was in Bridlington. So instead of going to Whitby, we're going to Bridlington, which is closer to where we are now, for fish and chips at a place, I think it's called Fish and Chips at 149. So we're gonna go check it out. Fish and Chips at 149 was voted best fish and chip shop in the UK a few years back. We're excited to try it. A couple notes about this chippy. One is that you can tell you are in the north because the default fish is haddock, not cod. I thought the prices were pretty reasonable, especially compared with what we have to pay in Cheltenham. This made me laugh. Next to their trophy for best fish and chips, they have big jars of pickled eggs and pickled onions. I still haven't lived in England long enough to like either of those things. We are enjoying this fish and chips. That fish is delicious. It is so tasty. The batter is really good, really crispy, not too greasy. But then the fish is just so thick and flaky and fresh tasting. Big fan of fish and chips on the Yorkshire coast. And the chips are fantastic too. They're not undercooked. They're not burnt. They're just fluffy and crispy and perfect. So we are driving back to our Airbnb and it's time for a recap of the day with Gary. This was Gary's day to see seabirds. So Gary, what birds did you see today? Any life listers? What were your favorites?
The bird list for the day: chaffinch, kittiwake, herring gull, puffin, guillemot, shag, razorbill, skylark, pheasant, magpie, gannet, coletit, tree sparrow, and collared dove. I always see a crow and I always see a wood pigeon. I'm not even quite including those today, but that's part of it. So of that list, let's see: chaffinch, puffin, which is a multi-year want, and I've never seen it. Today was my first day. A shag, which looked like a cormorant. I gotta actually confirm if it's a different bird from a cormorant or not.
It's a small cormorant.
So 3, razorbill 4, skylark 5, gannet 6, coletit 7, tree sparrow 8. So that's 8 life listers. Just to give you a sense for that, I may get 8 in a year now. That's 8 today. I think I had 7 yesterday. So I mean, I am doubling my averages these times. So it was a very, very productive bird day and very, very pleasing.
And what was your favorite?
Boy, to see the gannets, that is a really nice bird. But the puffin, again, I've hunted that for years. Hard bird to get, and it showed up today. So, had I gotten that bird alone, it would have made it an amazing day. So, very, very happy about the puffin.
It was a good day, and the puffins, we didn't see loads and loads of them, but we did see some, and they were super cute, and we had some good telephoto action, so we were able to see them up close. So, successful day. After our dinner in Bridlington, we headed back to our Airbnb, which, by the way, I gave a tour of in last week's video. It's a pretty amazing place, so if you missed that video, check out the description for a link. We decided to have our dessert next, the delicious 4th of July cupcakes that Nick and Jill were so kind to give us. They even did a special order so that Gary could have gluten-free cupcakes. We really enjoyed that sweet treat at the end of a spectacular day. One more fun clip from our Airbnb the next morning. To round off the bird experiences from Yorkshire, this peacock made a stop by Debbie and Gary's bedroom window early the next day. He looked like he hopped up on the bench so that he could look in the window and get their attention. It was really very funny. I hope you enjoyed this day full of Yorkshire adventures with our friends. Please check out some of our other Yorkshire videos here and do something good in the world today.